HeartStone affects performance because it takes you to the seed. It introduces you to the seed of where it all begins, where it all starts. And if you get introduced to that center in you and you understand where it can grow from, your opportunities are boundless with your physical self. Since beginning my HeartStone practice, I have noticed an ability for me to take my hormonal cycle throughout the month and be much more in line with it. I've noticed that by adding this slower practice that is deeper in my spine and deeper in my core and deeper in all of that organ massaging, I have noticed that it doesn't matter what's really occurring so much. I can feel it and I can deal with it in a way that feels like I am exactly where I am supposed to be right now at this point in my life, and I feel great. So that's something that I've really noticed. And then I have noticed my arms improve, and I've noticed my core improve, and I've noticed that since I began HeartStone, I am somebody that monitors my sleep score, and my sleep score is better. So that's something else that I've noticed. But I really notice a higher level for myself in my own practice. I'm always trying to grow in my own practice. I'm not trying to continue to sell you on something that I did 10 years ago. I don't want to stay there. I'm growing and evolving, and I always try and hone in on the fact that evolving just means we're changing, and I want to evolve better. And I feel like since I started HeartStone, I am evolving better. When you are moving through a HeartStone session, it sits in a completely different genre of movement than the online studio or my mode. Every collection that I create, it is its own universe, and it is the universe that I believe that everyone can benefit from. The free arm workouts fit beautifully into the HeartStone journey. Over 20 years ago, I created the Tracy Anderson arm workout, which is so original that when it first came out, everyone made fun of me. And 20 years later, I'm so happy I flapped my arms around like that, because you now are getting Tracy Anderson arm workouts here in this app. If you are just beginning your HeartStone journey, I'm taking care of you. I've got you. Start slow, start with the small ones. Everything that comes up in you is okay. It's good. Meet it there. Move through it. It's part of the process, and you will grow from it in a positive way. I have always been interested in energy work. Ever since childhood, I always found the most peace of mind in the energetic pull that I had towards nature, being in the woods or at the beach or anywhere away from civilization. I could feel what I now know and describe as a real natural force of energy. And I think that we are in a fight against our own natural energy right now. How are we going to align with a lot of the energy that we've created that wasn't here when we came here? And how do we not forget about the energy that was here before us, and how do we honor that? And I've always felt the most calm surrounded by the energy that was here in nature, really, that we were born into. What inspired me to create HeartStone was the calls that I have with our founding members of the online studio and My Mode. When I launched My Mode, I wanted to have a relationship with everyone that purchased it. So for the last year, I have held 2 calls per month, and oftentimes the calls last 7 hours, which sounds like a lot, but when you're listening to people's process and their will reacting to life and wanting to become healthier, someone who's been focused on well-being for 25 years, I discovered through the conversations that many people were void of someone teaching them about their own energy, or they didn't have the life experiences that opened them to their own energy. And I know that as they climb their next mountain in adulthood and life, that being introduced to that energy and understanding how to harness it and move with it and be one with it is going to be key to all of the other things that they do to try and improve their health. To me, energy training is participating in the understanding of life, of your life. I chose rose quartz to be embedded into the HeartStone because it represents self-love, and it all starts with self-love. I designed HeartStone for everyone with a heartbeat and palms. I have not introduced HeartStone to any of my clients yet, except for my pal, Gwyneth Paltrow, who I gave them to her at Christmas, and then when Julia was coming in to train her, she was like, I want to use these. So I did do a special one for her. And, she's been doing my arms for a very long time. And I got this text from Julia after saying how much she loved it. And she was blown away by how powerful she felt that they were. So personally, the results that I have seen already, anytime I create something that gives me an extra bit of length and I can feel it, and really it's unfair as women that we've just been taught that our hormones will get the best of our middle as we go through menopause or perimenopause, and it doesn't have to be that way, and our muscles are quite powerful, and we don't have to do these huge things to get them to participate and react. And with HeartStone, I have noticed that my armpits and my underarm skin is staying, snatched is the word, and here. So I am constantly trying to fine tune that, keeping the waist, it's really about keeping the spine supported. And when you keep speaking to the inner spine, everything really pulls to that. It's just like a really strong and incredible zipper. As soon as you finish a HeartStone session, I hope that you will feel more understood by yourself. I hope that you will feel everything that came up in you. I hope that you will let your mind wander and be without judgment, and breathe through and lean into what it means to be in this motion with yourself, holding something precious and energetic. And I hope that you will feel refined and recharged and refueled and resilient. My favorite HeartStone mantra is surge. And because it takes a lot to get there. It is the longest HeartStone practice. It's the 33-minute workout, and if you follow in order, you will have gone through many different processes before you surge. And I think that that's one of the things that is troubling society today, is people go straight to surge without any thought, without any discovery, without any willingness to figure out why you're surging. I believe that through practices like this, you will learn to let negativity dissolve before you ever put a foot forward. And so that's my favorite one. When I heard Penny's HeartStone song for the first time, I felt understood by my daughter too. And I'm like, how can this beautiful, exquisite being be here for such a, short time and produce something that is that beautiful? I really am in awe of she's so young, and that she wrote something so profound, which really goes along with so much of what I believe in, which is let us not ruin our children. Let them be. They know, they find their way. And when we're not polluting them with so many, you have to be like this, or you have to be like that, or watch this or watch that, or put these things in front of them. When you show them nature and you are good enough, they know, you learn from them. I learn from them. I chose to create an app for HeartStone content because really I was inspired by my son, who's 25. He has really dedicated his entrepreneurship to recognizing that this app world and gaming world that he grew up in has become really toxic in a lot of ways and unconscious. And he has created Orbit, a communication scheduling app that brings consciousness to who you're communicating with, how often you're communicating with them. It sets intentions for your network of the people that you claim to care about in this world and want to have relationships with. And it's brilliant, and I love it. And then he created GovGlance, which he recognized how the media influences people politically and causes them to, surge a lot of negativity today. And he just felt that people did not have a really friendly, user-friendly, modern way to see what the government is factually actually doing. So he created GovGlance that just really aggregates everything straight from the government's offices and puts them from environment to health, the things that you might care about staying up to date on. And what they publish, he puts it in a user-friendly way for everyone, encouraging you to cut out that noise. And when I'm watching him in awe create these much more conscious ways of being with our systems, I felt like I didn't want to put this over in the Tracy Anderson world for people if you know, you know. I wanted to throw it out also in that space in effort to add to the consciousness of this vast app store that has been around for a long time, and it's just ever growing. And I would love for something like this to sit next to Facetune. I mean, I'm just denaturing you and denaturing you and denaturing you with every app after app after app. So if people stumble across this, I know that I will be returning them to their nature in a healthy way. The highlight of launching the HeartStone app is really the community of people who have jumped in, purchased HeartStone, given it to people over the holidays, waited patiently for the app. They have been the highlight for me because They are in awe of their heartstones, and they're waiting to improve their lives even more in a way that signals to me that people are still curious, up for adventure, okay with mystery. And that signals to me that we are still so human, and I love that.